meet with the folks that developed Yate. And we found out while we were there that we were both there. It was a complete coincidence, but we were in different cities, so we didn't manage to reconnect until here.
Actually, one of us met with Diana and the other one met with Paul.
Yeah. So Yate's very new for us. We're not. We're just here to introduce everyone to it and share what we've gathered so far in our own exploration. So.
Yeah. So yeah, again here are our email addresses in case anybody has a question. As I understood, Brian, we are kind of timed. We have to be quicker than we want to be. So in case you have a question, just send Jim or me an email about Yate or as soon as you want to live it over. Sorry?
Yeah, IRC next to
IRC? That's way too yesterday. No, I'm not an IM guy. Just send me an email. You probably get as fast an answer as with IRC. Okay, why are we here? Obviously, everybody here knows there's more to open source telephony than asterisk. Even if Jim and I, we both put us as asterisk bread and butter, but there's more than that. And for me, as a European, it is always important to say that there are other countries, other languages than the USA and English, and that's a thing which is very important. So you will see a different approach from a European project than from most American projects. So basically we are here, as Jim told you, to tell you a bit of asterisk, so you become curious about it. We both like to talk. That's a very bad mixture.
It can be good as long as we don't interrupt each other too much. Yeah, we want to arouse everyone's curiosity. We ourselves became very curious and started poking into it, and this is a pretty powerful telephony engine, and it's something that is worth trying out.
The problem is the learning curve of Yate is steeper than that of asterisk, and most normal users have problems with asterisk alone. So that is a big problem. And as usually for any good open source project, documentation is not the best side. But in our opinion, it's worth the time, and I guess documentation is getting better during the next couple of months. So some background information. The people behind Yate, that's mainly Paul and Diana. Their company Null Team is located in Bucharest, that's in Romania, and we have a map. So we are somewhere here. Actually, I don't know where we are. But I know where Bucharest is here. And by purely coincidence, over there was start there as well, which is kind of funny, but that's it is. And they have quite good internet connection in Bucharest, yeah?
Yeah, it's amazing. The whole city was kind of wired in an entrepreneurial fashion. So companies would just pull fiber across wherever they had a need for it. So the whole downtown of the city is just a tangle of wires running overhead. Anywhere there's a pole, anywhere there's something that you can hang a wire on, there's going to be 50 to 100 strands of fiber just running bare across there. It's a real there's an entrepreneurial spirit there, and regulations are kind of lagging behind people's enthusiasm. So a lot of things are I don't know if shocking is the right word, but certainly we would find it very shocking to see those sorts of things happen here. We would think,
They told me that the average download of a new DVD takes some 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Obviously all the new movies. So history, I think it's very important because most people don't know Yate. It's not that Yate is a new project. Yate is pretty mature. It was started in 2003. Version 1.0 was published in 2006, so some 2 years ago. And actually this week version 2.0 was released, and so we are not talking about a new project, and it is kind of a, I don't know, it's a secret, or I don't know why it is more popular, or why it became more popular, because it's quite a powerful engine. Yate is licensed GPL, and Diana and Paul, they are very passionate about that. It's not that they are clearly saying we're not doing dual licensing, we are doing GPL only, and that's the way we are going to do it. So they are very, very passionate, nearly about everything computer-wise. So they're passionate people in a good way. Okay, some reasons for Yate.
Yeah, so Yate's based on a message passing design, so it's very modular. Everything that happens in any module in the system generates a message, so modules message each other. And it makes it a very flexible platform. For example, you can have two routing engines running that are completely different routing engines, and they can both be running at the same time, and they'll be given a different priority. And when a request for routing comes into the messaging system, both routing engines can take a look at the message, and one of them can decide to handle that. So there is a priority, so one will rank over the other. So if there's a conflict, one of them will win the argument. But you can mix and match all kinds of different components in the same platform. So it seems to provide an awful lot of flexibility in terms of either building it with very simple components or using very complex components, depending on what the need is.
One of the problems is that once everybody who is working with Asterisk for a couple of years, it is very hard to get to this new kind of thinking. I think it's much easier for somebody who doesn't have any background with Asterisk. But we are all Asterisk polluted, so it's narrow-minded.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. So the stability of Yate is, I'm going to use the term legendary, which is probably a little over the top, but I've never been able to find anybody that's said anything to me other than that it is rock solid stable. So that's probably a very important thing to its credit. Scalability is, at this stage, in my opinion, the scalability is similar to Asterisk in the sense that there's still a tendency to need to run everything on the one box, but because it's so much more efficient in how it does things, the actual capabilities of the single system are greatly enhanced over Asterisk. So it is possible to build clustered scaled solutions with it a lot more efficiently than you can with Asterisk. I'm going to carry on. Portability, they run it on all kinds of different platforms. It's coded for Linux, and they compile it for Windows as well, and I believe BSD. But they do all the coding and development on Linux, and it'll run on pretty much anything that you can run Linux on, right down to a little Linux WRT or something of that nature. So,
actually, I think they code both on Linux and on Windows. They are very keen on testing it everywhere, and again, very, very passionate about these things. It's not that they are just running Linux code and somehow make it run on Windows. They are very, very passionate about making it run well. And they take a lot of time, more time than most people would take. Because it's clean.
Yeah. The optimized portion there, that they use C++ to write it in, and it was funny because when I first met Paul, he almost immediately began to defend his choice of using C++. I'm not enough of a developer to really say, but essentially the way that he described it to me is that there's not a lot of bloat in it. He's using very, very optimized code, and it's almost C code that he's using. So you'd have to ask him more about what he means by that. But it's very, very tight code.
Okay, as Jim said, Yate supports Linux, BSD, and Windows. They can download Excel installer for Windows and tarboards and RPMs for Linux. It does support the usual voice-over-IP protocols, and there's more the usual cards. What